Did you know that one of the most powerful remedies for digestive problems after 70 was discovered thousands of years ago, long before modern medicine even existed? And here's the fascinating part. It works better for seniors than most digestive pills today. If you've been dealing with bloating, gas, constipation, or that sluggish feeling after meals, stay tuned, because this ancient remedy could completely change the way your stomach feels. Welcome to Wellness Decode, where we take complex health science and decode it into simple, natural solutions for your body, especially after 50, 60, and beyond. Today, we're uncovering an ancient remedy that restores digestion, boosts nutrient absorption, and brings back that light, energetic feeling after you eat. Let's dive right in. Most people assume that digestive problems after 70 are simply a natural part of aging, something that happens to everyone and cannot really be fixed. But the reality is far more interesting and empowering. The human body is incredibly adaptive, and what appears to be a decline in digestion is often a response to changes we can actually correct. As we age, one of the most critical changes that happens inside the body is a gradual drop in stomach acid production. This might sound like a small detail, but it has a domino effect on the entire digestive system. Stomach acid is not your enemy. It is the first major line of defense for healthy digestion. It breaks down protein into amino acids, activates enzymes, and signals other digestive organs, like the pancreas and gallbladder, to start their work. When the stomach acid level decreases, food doesn't digest as efficiently, leading to fermentation, bloating, belching, and that uncomfortable heaviness after meals that so many older adults complain about. Now imagine your stomach as a powerful chemical processor that needs the right environment to function. In youth, this environment is rich in acid, quick and efficient. But over time, poor diet choices, processed foods, chronic stress, and long-term use of acid-blocking medications gradually shift this environment to be weaker and more alkaline. This is when undigested proteins linger too long, feeding bacteria that should not be in the upper digestive tract. The result is gas, discomfort, and sometimes even reflux. Ironically, many people respond to this by taking more acid blockers, believing acid is the problem, when in fact the lack of acid is the true issue. A low acid stomach fails to kill off harmful bacteria and pathogens that enter through food, allowing them to colonize and interfere with digestion. It also prevents the body from absorbing key nutrients such as vitamin B12, iron, magnesium, and calcium. This is why older adults often face fatigue, weak bones, muscle loss, or even memory issues that trace back to poor nutrient absorption. Each meal becomes less effective in nourishing the body. The food might be healthy, but if it is not digested properly, the body cannot extract what it needs. That is why simply eating well is not enough. Proper digestion must come first. The signs are usually clear but easy to overlook. A feeling of fullness after just a few bites, burping shortly after eating, or seeing undigested food in the stool all point toward weak stomach acid. This condition, known as hypochlorhydria, is far more common after 70 than most people realize. And yet, it is reversible with the right approach. The stomach's ability to produce acid can be supported naturally by specific nutrients and habits. For example, including foods rich in zinc and vitamin B1 helps stimulate acid production. Avoiding constant snacking between meals allows the stomach to complete its digestive cycle. Drinking too much water with meals can dilute the acid, while chewing food thoroughly can trigger the release of enzymes and gastric juices even before swallowing. These simple habits, when practiced consistently, make a noticeable difference in how light and comfortable you feel after eating. But there's a powerful ancient secret that can accelerate this process and restore balance to your digestion in a surprisingly simple way. It is something that has been used for centuries in traditional medicine across many cultures, long before digestive supplements or enzyme capsules ever existed. This is where the story of apple cider vinegar comes in. Thousands of years ago, Greek and Chinese healers recognized the digestive power of fermented tonics. They observed that people who consumed vinegar-based mixtures with meals rarely experienced bloating, sluggishness, or indigestion. It became a part of everyday life, not as a medicine, but as a natural companion to eating, and modern science now explains why it worked so well. Apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid, a compound that closely mimics the natural acid of the stomach. When taken before meals, it helps pre-acidify the stomach, creating the perfect environment for enzymes and gastric juices to work efficiently. This means that proteins break down faster, fats emulsify better, and nutrients become more accessible for absorption. The result is smoother digestion, less gas, and a feeling of lightness after eating instead of heaviness. For seniors who have reduced acid levels, apple cider vinegar acts like a natural ignition switch, turning the digestive fire back on. Beyond digestion, this ancient tonic does even more. The acetic acid in apple cider vinegar helps regulate blood sugar levels by slowing down the release of glucose into the bloodstream. This prevents that mid-afternoon energy crash or post-meal fatigue that many older adults struggle with. It also supports a healthy microbiome, which is essential for overall gut health. A balanced gut flora not only aids digestion, but also boosts immunity, mental clarity, and mood. In essence, this simple fermented liquid rebalances what time and diet have disrupted. One of the key reasons apple cider vinegar works so well for seniors is that it gently encourages the body to do what it was designed to do without forcing it with synthetic medications. It does not replace stomach acid, but reminds the stomach how to perform better. When used consistently, many people notice improvements in appetite, regular bowel movements, and even better tolerance for foods that used to cause discomfort. Some describe it as finally feeling hungry and satisfied again, instead of bloated and tired after meals. To use this remedy effectively, quality matters. It should always be raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar that contains what's called the mother, a cloudy strand of beneficial bacteria and enzymes that form naturally during fermentation. This is what gives the vinegar its healing properties. Mixing 1 tablespoon in a glass of water before your largest meals is enough to trigger the digestive process. Some people prefer to add a little lemon juice or honey to soften the taste, though many quickly get used to it. The key is consistency, allowing your body to adjust gradually. The beauty of this remedy is that it aligns with how ancient cultures lived. They didn't have processed foods or acid-blocking drugs. Their diets were naturally rich in fermented products, herbs, and bitters that supported digestion every single day. Over time, our modern lifestyle removed these natural aids and replaced them with convenience foods that are harder for the body to handle, especially as acid and enzyme levels decline with age. By reintroducing apple cider vinegar, we are simply restoring a missing element that the human body evolved to rely on. What makes this even more fascinating is that the effect of apple cider vinegar isn't just physical, it's metabolic. Improved digestion means better nutrient absorption, which translates into more energy, stronger muscles, healthier skin, and a sharper mind. The body starts to feel lighter and more efficient because it's no longer wasting energy struggling to break down food. When digestion improves, everything improves. For those over 70, this can be a life-changing shift. It's not about chasing youth or eliminating every symptom overnight. It's about working with the body, not against it, and using wisdom that has stood the test of time. The stomach, like any other organ, thrives when given the right conditions. Supporting it with something as natural as apple cider vinegar, combined with mindful eating habits, is one of the simplest and most effective ways to bring your digestive system back to life. It's easy to underestimate how deeply digestion affects every part of health. Poor digestion doesn't just lead to discomfort, it starves the cells of nutrients and disrupts hormones that control metabolism and energy. When the stomach becomes stronger, the entire body benefits. That's why this ancient remedy is not just about fixing a symptom, it's about restoring the foundation of vitality. And while modern science now confirms what ancient healers knew instinctively, the beauty of this solution lies in its simplicity. No matter how long you've struggled with digestive issues, it's never too late to help your stomach function the way it's meant to. Each meal becomes an opportunity to heal. Each day becomes a step closer to balance. By embracing natural acidity, mindful timing, and the power of fermentation, you can feel a real transformation from the inside out. Apple cider vinegar is more than a kitchen staple. It's a bridge between ancient wisdom and modern science, offering a path to renewed comfort, energy and health, even well past 70. As the years go by, something subtle but powerful begins to shift inside the body. It's not just that the stomach produces less acid, but that the entire digestive orchestra begins to lose its rhythm. One of the most critical players in that orchestra is the pancreas, the silent engine that releases enzymes responsible for breaking down food into absorbable nutrients. These enzymes are what transform a piece of fish, a spoonful of rice, or a handful of nuts into the vitamins, amino acids, and fatty acids your cells actually use for energy and repair. Yet after 70, this process becomes slower, and many people don't even realize it's happening until symptoms appear. Meals that used to be easy to digest suddenly cause bloating, fatigue, or discomfort. The body feels full but not nourished. There's a sense that food is sitting in the stomach longer than it should. This slowing of enzyme production is not random. Over time, the pancreas becomes less responsive to digestive signals, partly because of accumulated stress, medications, and years of eating processed foods. Every enzyme in the body has a purpose. Amylase breaks down carbohydrates into simple sugars, lipase breaks down fats into fatty acids, and protease breaks down proteins into amino acids. When these are insufficient, undigested food lingers in the intestines, where it can ferment or even rot, leading to gas, cramping, or irregular bowel movements. Many seniors end up with nutrient deficiencies, even when they're eating nutritious meals, because the body simply cannot extract what it needs. That's why someone can have a plate full of vegetables and protein, yet still feel weak, lose muscle mass, or experience brittle nails and thinning hair. The nutrients are there, but they're trapped. Restoring enzyme activity is about reminding the body how to digest efficiently again. Ancient cultures didn't have enzyme capsules, yet they maintained healthy digestion well into old age. Their secret was in the foods they ate. They consumed plenty of naturally enzyme-rich foods like papaya, pineapple, and fermented vegetables. These foods acted as gentle digestive aids, supplementing the body's own enzymes and keeping the digestive process smooth. For instance, papaya contains papain, a natural enzyme that helps break down protein, while pineapple contains bromelain, which does the same. Fermented vegetables such as sauerkraut or kimchi add not only enzymes but also beneficial bacteria that assist digestion at every step. When included regularly in meals, These foods lighten the burden on the pancreas and bring relief to a digestive system that has grown sluggish over time. Another often overlooked factor is chewing. Chewing thoroughly is the first step in activating enzymes because the saliva itself contains amylase. Many people, especially those in a hurry, swallow too soon, sending large pieces of food into the stomach that take much longer to break down. By slowing down, savoring each bite, and allowing the mouth to start the digestion process properly, the stomach and pancreas are better prepared for what comes next. This simple habit alone can make a remarkable difference in how light and comfortable one feels after eating. When the digestive process is supported with enzyme-rich foods and mindful eating habits, something else begins to happen. Energy levels rise. The body no longer wastes effort trying to process half-digested meals. Instead, nutrients are absorbed quickly and efficiently, feeding the cells with the raw materials they need. This translates into better energy, improved focus, and even a brighter mood. It's remarkable how many complaints that seem unrelated to digestion, like fatigue, brain fog, or weak immunity, begin to improve once enzyme activity is restored. While the pancreas handles enzymes, another key organ works quietly in the background, often ignored until it starts causing problems. This is the liver and its partner, the gallbladder. Together, they produce and release bile, a greenish fluid that is absolutely essential for digesting fats. After 70, many people notice they can no longer tolerate fatty foods as well as they used to. They might experience nausea, bloating, or a heavy feeling after eating cheese, butter, or even healthy fats like avocado or olive oil. This is a sign that bile flow has slowed or become sluggish. Bile's job is to emulsify fats, breaking them down into tiny droplets that digestive enzymes can further process. Without enough bile, fats pass through the intestines undigested, leaving behind greasy residues or floating stools. This not only affects comfort but also leads to nutrient deficiencies, since vitamins A, D, E, and K depend on fat for absorption. These vitamins are crucial for vision, bone strength, immune health, and overall vitality, areas that are already more delicate in older adults. So when bile production drops, the entire system begins to feel the impact. The most fascinating part is that ancient healers recognized the importance of bile long before they understood its chemistry. They used natural bitters, plants with a distinct bitter taste, to stimulate the liver and gallbladder. These included herbs like dandelion root, artichoke leaf, and milk thistle. Whenever these herbs touched the tongue, they triggered receptors that sent a message to the brain and digestive organs, signaling them to prepare for food. The liver would begin producing bile, the gallbladder would contract, and the pancreas would release enzymes. In essence, bitters acted like a conductor, bringing all the digestive instruments back into harmony before a meal even began. The bitter flavor itself was once a regular part of human diets. People ate wild greens, herbs, and plants that naturally contained these compounds. But in modern diets, the bitter taste has nearly disappeared. Our meals are dominated by sweet, salty, and processed flavors that never send the right signals to our digestive system. This is one reason digestion weakens with age, not only because the organs slow down, but because the cues that activate them are missing. Reintroducing even a small amount of bitter foods can have a profound effect on restoring this balance. A simple way to begin is to add bitter greens like arugula, endive, or dandelion leaves to salads. Some people take a small amount of herbal bitters before meals in liquid form, which can quickly awaken the digestive reflex. These are not laxatives or stimulants. They simply remind the body to do what it was designed to do. When bile starts flowing more freely, The digestion of fats becomes smoother, and the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins improves dramatically. People often report clearer skin, less bloating, and a more comfortable feeling after meals once bile function is restored. The liver itself plays a broader role than many realize. It filters toxins, regulates blood sugar, and produces essential compounds for hormone balance. When it becomes sluggish, the entire system feels slower. Supporting the liver through hydration, clean eating, and the inclusion of bitters keeps it functioning efficiently. One of the most beneficial things older adults can do for digestion is to reduce the load on the liver by avoiding refined sugars, processed fats, and heavy alcohol consumption. Instead, focusing on whole, nutrient-rich foods and natural digestive enhancers gives the liver and gallbladder room to recover. When enzyme production and bile flow are restored, digestion begins to feel effortless again. Meals no longer linger for hours, and energy returns after eating instead of disappearing. This transformation doesn't come from a new pill or quick fix, but from understanding and respecting how the body's natural processes work. It's about tuning the system rather than forcing it. Just as a musician brings an instrument back into tune, you can bring your digestive system back into balance with small, consistent changes that reactivate its natural intelligence. Think of digestion as a cascade, where each step triggers the next. When enzymes do their job, fats break down more easily. When bile flows properly, nutrients are absorbed more efficiently. When nutrients are absorbed, every cell in the body functions better. It's a chain reaction that touches every aspect of well-being, from brain clarity to joint mobility to immune strength. The fascinating part is how quickly these systems can respond once given the right support. The body never forgets how to heal. It just needs the right conditions to do so. What makes these natural solutions so effective for seniors is that they work in harmony with the body's own wisdom. Instead of suppressing symptoms, they awaken the mechanisms that have been there all along. When you reintroduce enzymes and encourage bile flow through the use of natural foods and herbs, you are not adding something foreign. You are reminding your system how to thrive again. And that is where real, lasting digestion repair begins, not in temporary relief, but in reawakening the body's built-in power to digest, absorb, and renew. As the digestive system ages, one of the most overlooked yet crucial aspects of health begins to change quietly within the gut lining. This lining is more than just a wall between food and the bloodstream. It's a living, breathing barrier that decides what gets absorbed and what stays out. Imagine it as a gatekeeper covered in trillions of microscopic cells that work together to allow nutrients to pass while keeping harmful substances away. When we are young, this system is strong and resilient, quickly repairing itself and maintaining balance. But as the years go by, especially after 70, this lining becomes thinner, more fragile, and less efficient at protecting the body. A weakened gut lining means more than just digestive discomfort. It can lead to a chain reaction that affects the entire body. When undigested food particles or toxins slip through tiny cracks in the lining, the immune system sees them as intruders and goes on high alert. This leads to inflammation, fatigue, and sometimes even joint pain or mental fog. Many seniors experience these issues without realizing they often start in the gut. The body begins to operate in a constant low-grade state of stress, trying to fight what it perceives as an ongoing attack. Over time, this constant inflammation wears down the digestive system even more, creating a cycle that's hard to break without intentional support. Ancient healers understood the importance of maintaining a healthy gut long before the term gut microbiome even existed. They used naturally fermented foods that provided beneficial bacteria to keep the intestinal environment in balance. Modern science has now confirmed what those traditional remedies achieved instinctively. Fermented foods like kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, and yogurt help restore the delicate ecosystem within the gut. These foods are rich in probiotics, friendly bacteria that rebuild and maintain the integrity of the intestinal barrier. When consumed regularly, they improve nutrient absorption, reduce bloating, and help the digestive system become more resilient. Fermented foods do more than just aid digestion, they communicate directly with the immune system. The gut is home to nearly 70% of the body's immune cells, and probiotics act as their teachers, training them to respond appropriately instead of overreacting to harmless stimuli. For someone over 70, this balance is essential because an overactive immune system leads to inflammation, while an underactive one allows infections to take hold. With consistent intake of probiotic, rich foods, the immune response becomes more intelligent, calm, and efficient. Another fascinating role of these beneficial bacteria is their ability to produce short-chain fatty acids, tiny compounds that feed and strengthen the cells lining the gut. Think of them as repair fuel for the intestinal wall. These fatty acids help seal the gaps that form with age, making the gut barrier stronger and more selective again. This not only improves digestion, but also enhances mental clarity and emotional stability, since the gut and brain are deeply connected through what scientists call the gut-brain axis. A balanced gut can directly influence mood, reduce anxiety, and support sharper focus, which explains why so many people feel mentally lighter after improving their digestive health. Restoring gut health after 70 isn't about doing something drastic, but about reintroducing the body to what it has always known. Adding a small serving of fermented food daily can gradually shift the entire internal environment toward balance. Even half a cup of kefir in the morning or a spoonful of sauerkraut with lunch can start this transformation. The key is consistency and variety, since different fermented foods provide different strains of beneficial bacteria. Over time, the gut becomes more diverse, which means it becomes stronger and more adaptable. Just as important as repairing the gut lining is retraining the body's timing. The digestive system functions best when it follows a natural rhythm, but modern life has disrupted that rhythm for most people. Eating at irregular times, snacking throughout the day, or rushing through meals confuses the body's internal clock. The organs that produce digestive juices, enzymes, and bile work on cues, and when those cues become erratic, digestion weakens. After 70, when the system is already more sensitive, this inconsistency has an even greater effect. Consistency in timing gives the body structure and predictability. When you eat meals around the same time every day, your stomach begins preparing in advance by releasing acid and enzymes in anticipation of food. The pancreas and liver get the signal to start their part of digestion, making the whole process smoother. This natural synchronization is what ancient cultures practiced without even realizing it. They ate meals according to daylight and allowed time between eating and sleeping for digestion to complete. This simple lifestyle pattern protected their digestive systems from the fatigue and imbalance that so many people experience today. The same principle applies to the remedies discussed earlier. Apple cider vinegar, enzyme-rich foods, and fermented products all work best when used consistently and thoughtfully. Taking a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar before meals, for example, signals the stomach to prepare acid and primes the rest of the digestive system to act in harmony. Including fermented foods daily supplies a steady flow of beneficial bacteria that maintain the gut's balance rather than shocking it with sudden changes. Adding bitter herbs occasionally, such as artichoke or dandelion tea before dinner, keeps bile flowing and fats digesting properly. It's the combination of these small actions, done regularly, that reawakens the body's natural digestive intelligence. Many people make the mistake of expecting quick results, but digestion is not something that can be forced. It's more like a rhythm that needs to be rediscovered. The body thrives on routine, and the digestive organs respond beautifully to repetition. When you eat mindfully, at consistent times, and with awareness of what supports your gut, you're giving your system permission to reset itself. Over the weeks, the body adapts, inflammation reduces, and the gut lining begins to repair itself more efficiently. The result is a quiet transformation, less bloating, less discomfort, better energy, and a lighter, more comfortable feeling after meals. What makes this process so remarkable is how interconnected everything is. Healing the gut lining strengthens the immune system. Supporting the immune system reduces inflammation. Reduced inflammation restores energy and mental clarity. Improved clarity leads to better sleep and mood, which in turn support digestion even further. It's a continuous cycle of restoration that starts with something as simple as feeding your gut the right way. This holistic approach mirrors how ancient remedies worked. They never treated digestion as a single issue, but as part of an entire system of balance and renewal. When people after 70 begin to reintroduce these habits, they often notice not just better digestion, but also a sense of vitality returning to their lives. Meals that once caused discomfort become enjoyable again. Energy that used to fade after eating starts to stabilize. The body feels more efficient, more responsive, and more in tune. This happens because every cell is finally getting the nutrients it needs. The gut lining, once fragile, becomes strong, capable of absorbing and filtering with precision. The internal ecosystem, once disrupted, begins to flourish again. Consistency and patience are the keys. The body doesn't forget how to heal. It just needs the right environment and rhythm to remind it. A steady routine of natural digestion boosters, timed meals, and supportive foods can bring profound results. Each day builds upon the last, creating a foundation for long-term digestive resilience. This isn't about a temporary fix or chasing perfection. It's about reawakening a natural intelligence that's been there since birth, waiting to be activated again. The simplicity of these actions is what makes them so powerful. When you support your gut lining with the right foods and align your eating habits with your body's internal timing, you're giving your digestive system the chance to function as it was designed to. You're not adding something foreign or complicated. You're simply reintroducing what time and modern habits have taken away. And as this natural rhythm returns, digestion becomes effortless, energy feels renewed, and the body begins to experience a quiet, steady form of healing that starts deep within the gut and radiates throughout every part of life. So, here's the bottom line. Digestion problems after 70 aren't a life sentence. They're a signal. Your body is asking to return to natural, time-tested habits. Apple cider vinegar, enzyme-rich foods, herbal bitters, and fermented vegetables aren't just old remedies. They're the blueprint for restoring youthful digestion. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to Wellness Decode, and tell me in the comments which of these remedies you're going to try first. And remember, your age doesn't define your health, your habits do. Start today, and your digestion can feel brand new again.